I am going to just jump right in. I'm going to do a screen share, so I might not be able to see you when I share my screen. So if you have any
Okay.
questions, maybe save them for the end. Okay. Welcome everyone to my, um, I guess I'll call this a class tonight, where I want to talk about frankincense. And my motivation in talking about it at this time of the year is because doTERRA right now has an incredible promotion where you can actually get frankincense oil for free. And so I want to educate and share a bit more about why frankincense is what they call the king of oils, and why it is something that I would recommend you implementing into your daily health routine. And I want to share all of the different reasons why. And so tonight's presentation is called Unlocking the Potential of Frankincense and the Future of Wellness. Now, we know frankincense, we've had frankincense for a very long time, and it's been around for thousands of years, even, before Jesus's time. And we know that, that was one of the precious gifts that were given to Jesus at the time of his birth was frankincense. But we've known it's been powerful, but we haven't always known why, right? And there's many things that we've known about frankincense for many years, but even in just the last year or year and a half, with some of the clinical studies that we've done, we know so much more. And what we are going to discover about frankincense is going to continue to be revealed as the years go by, and I'll explain to you why. But it is so powerful. And so I want to start off by sharing some of the things that we already knew about frankincense. Why do we love frankincense? First of all, we knew that it supports healthy cellular function when taken internally. We didn't know to the extent of that, but we knew that it did that function. Another thing we knew is that it helped support healthy inflammatory response when ingested. So that means, being able to detoxify and help with the inflammation response when we have toxic load, or we've had strenuous things happen to our bodies. We have that inflammation response, and this helps support that in our body. We've also known that it is extremely helpful in maintaining healthy skin due to its alpinine content. And we've also known that it supported a proper immune response when ingested. And most of all, people love the aromatic smell. It's relaxing, it's uplifting, it creates such an atmosphere. And this has been some of the reasons why it has been one of our favorite oils. And since they introduced the clinical study, not this last convention, but the convention before, and they released a lot of the scientific findings that they had in that study, my love for this oil has just increased, and I love to incorporate it in my daily routine. And I want to share with you how and why. Some other reasons why we love it: it has broad spectrum activity over the whole body. It helps with everything from digestion to beauty. It's safe and beneficial for everyone. That's from children to seniors and everyone in between. And it's basically limitless in the ways that it can benefit your health. And like I said, we're continually learning more and more about this diverse oil. And we also knew that some common benefits that we would find from frankincense is that it would offer emotional and cognitive function. We've known for a while that it helps with brain function. It's often an oil that we suggest for people that struggle with memory issues or different cognitive functions like that. It also helps with neurochemical responses and with the endocrine system. It has protective support for all of your cells, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about what that looks like. So before I go into the application methods, I want to go and explain to you a little bit about where the intention behind the clinical trials came in. And if you've been in the health industry for any length of time, if you've been interested in natural health, I'm sure you've heard the word epigenetics spoken a few times. Now, epigenetics is basically our genetic makeup of our bodies, and our cells are the way we had different genes passed down to us from previous generations can have certain markers. For example, I had some genetic testing done, and I'm positive for the IL-1 gene. And the IL-1 gene is a predisposition to all autoimmune diseases. So what that means is, my body and my cells are automatically predisposed to manifesting out those autoimmune conditions in my body. But with epigenetics, we have found out that you can actually impact the expression of those genes in your body by the way that by the health choices that you make. So if you're making good health choices and you can actually turn off those epigenetic signals in your body, those genetic markers in your body, you can actually turn them off. So imagine it's like a switch, right? So depending on how you live your life and what healthy lifestyles that you participate in your life, you either turn that switch on or you turn that switch off. And I actually found this in my own health because through the stress I was under, through a lot of my lifestyle choices, I actually found myself in a place where I was dealing with autoimmune disease. I was dealing with a condition of chronic pain and inflammation, and the doctors said that there was no cure for me. I would be on medication for the rest of my life. And the more research I did and the more work I did in this area of finding out how can we reverse this, how can we figure out a way to do this, I realized, you know what, it is a switch. You can change that genetic expression in your body by the way that by the choices that you make in your health. And frankincense is one of the oils that will help us do this the most. And I'm going to explain that to you by explaining some things that came out of the study. And before I do that, we'll just talk quickly about the 3 different application methods of frankincense oil. The first one is aromatically. It can be diffused, and oftentimes people use a diffuser, or you can also put a drop in your hand and breathe it straight in your nose, or you can also just inhale it straight from the bottle. The other way that we use oils is topically. Now, frankincense, as it's good for the skin, you can literally apply it anywhere on your body. You can use it for targeted support for different organs or cells that you're trying to target. And you can also apply it with a carrier oil to allow for greater absorption. You can apply it to any part of your body, but some really great spots would be on the bottoms of your feet, down the back of your spine, on the back of your neck, on your pulse points. And these are things I recommend for any oil, but especially for frankincense. And then lastly, but most importantly, I feel, is internally. And all of doTERRA's oils are CPTG, which is certified pure tested grade oils that for the most part can be taken internally. There's a few of our oils that we do not recommend taking internally because they are what we call hot oils. But for the most part, all of our oils are for internal use, and frankincense is one of them. The way you can take frankincense internally, you can put 1 drop under your tongue or put it on the roof of your mouth. Very effective of going straight into your bloodstream, passing that blood-brain barrier. And you can also take it in a veggie capsule, or you can add it to your favorite drink or to your food. And it's a fantastic way for you to get the benefits of it internally. So before I share the findings from the study, I just want to play this quick video with you. Where's the play button?
Frankincense has long been recognized for its value, especially as an essential oil. Its powerful aroma is distinctly known and is prized for its many health benefits. Distilled from the boswellia tree, it has been used for thousands of years. While the resin from the tree possesses many different properties, it is most highly regarded for the oil it contains. Often referred to as the king of oil, it's highly revered for everything from digestion to beauty. It's truly one of nature's most valued gifts. Rich in alpha-pinene, frankincense is soothing and extremely beneficial for skin health. More significantly than any one single compound, however, frankincense is rich in monoterpenes, which have a wide array of benefits, making this oil effective for a variety of uses. I believe this is one of the primary reasons frankincense offers appropriate cell protection and support. Its broad-spectrum activity can support cells and system function throughout the entire body. Frankincense is for everyone. Our bodies are in a constant state of challenge and resolve physiologically. Everyday circumstances can be unique as well as repetitive, and our body experiences changing health needs almost daily. Because frankincense is multifunctional, it is an oil that is foundational and one you most likely need on a daily basis. One of the keys to successful usage of any essential oil is consistency. Oftentimes, smaller amounts routinely is much more effective. Taking advantage of the value of this oil can be as easy as diffusing or breathing in the aroma. It is potent yet mild and can be used internally and topically. I recommend that you use the method you are most comfortable with. Most use frankincense for its positive effects on emotional and cognitive function. It even helps to support appropriate neurochemical responses and the endocrine system as a whole. One of my favorite reasons for using frankincense, however, is its protective support to cells and helping the body to manage healthy inflammatory responses. It makes sense why frankincense is so diverse and beneficial to nearly everyone. Okay, everyone. It's even effective for soothing agitated muscles and tissues. I believe there are limitless ways that doTERRA's certified pure therapeutic grade frankincense can enrich your health and wellness. Here are just a few simple ways to start using one of my favorite oils today. Diffuse frankincense to create feelings of peace, satisfaction, and an overall sense of mental wellness. Aromatic use of frankincense can promote healthy lung function. Take a few drops internally to promote the health of your liver, digestive, and urogenital functions. Take internally to support the whole of your musculoskeletal system, which includes your joints, muscles, ligaments, structural tissues, including bones. Frankincense will provide the extra protection you need to withstand the day-to-day stresses of life and the normal aging process. A few drops twice a day can support healthy cell function. In a capsule or directly under the tongue is a great option. For younger children, I love using frankincense on the bottom of the feet. I believe this oil can benefit the entire family. In addition, applying the oil to the bottom of the feet can stimulate relaxation and balance the mood. Use frankincense as a part of your daily beauty routine, and it can help to reduce the appearance of blemishes and rejuvenate the skin. Frankincense, when used in this way, provides direct support to the underlying tissues of the skin, making the skin more radiant and resilient to detrimental health effects. There are literally dozens of species of boswellia trees, but there generally are only 4 which produce true frankincense resin, which the oil comes from. doTERRA uses 3 of these species, Carterii, Freriana, and Sacra, to distill a unique certified pure therapeutic grade frankincense, which is exclusive in its benefits, quality, and purity. Frankincense truly is the king of oils, so when you are in doubt as to which oil to use, make doTERRA frankincense your first choice and most trusted choice.
All right, so that leads us into the most exciting part of what I want to share today, which is about the clinical trials that were done. And in this study, they found something so incredible. When they were explaining it to us, they found that when they studied the frankincense through the study participants, that the frankincense impacted over 46,000 different gene expressions within the body. So if we back up a little bit and we go back to what I was talking about epigenetics and how each one of us has a different makeup of genetic code, and depending on how we live our lifestyle, we can either turn those switches off or we can turn them on. Frankincense was impacting over 46,000 of those gene expressions. And they said that it would take them over 3 years researching over 2,000 different gene expressions every single day in order to go through all of the data that was coming out of this study, which is incredible. When you think about that, there's so much about frankincense that we still don't know. And there's still, as they go through all of the findings and all the data that have come out from this study, we're going to learn more and more and more about this. And so the information that I'm going to share today is literally just the tip of the iceberg. And as they continue to do research and they continue to do different work in regards to, studying the effects of frankincense in the human body, we're going to learn so much more. But the things I want to share with you today are incredible. And in the first clinical trial, they targeted 67 participants. This trial was over a 1 month use. And in regards to the skin and systematic balance, over 1,200 genes were modulated. So over 1,200 genes were impacted. That's incredible to find from a single oil. Now, in this trial, they also found that it impacted brain health pathways. So these are some of the genes that were impacted: DRD2, which helps with dopamine signaling, which helps with your motivation, your drive, your mental focus. Another one that was of significant importance to them was the SLC6A4, which is your serotonin balance, which helps with your emotional resilience, being calm under stress. And BDNF, which they call fertilizer for the brain. It's what helps you with your neuroplasticity, retraining the brain, creating new neural connections when you want to, change bad habits into good habits, or change bad wiring. Maybe you had a trauma. This helps with that adaptation and creating new connections within the brain. And when you think about this, this is coming from one single oil. It's coming from frankincense, the king of oils that we talk about. And these are just three of the different gene expressions that were impacted by this first trial. And it's just astonishing to me. And when you think about that, how this oil, when taken consistently in your daily routine, can have a positive impact on these different areas of your life. Now, here is just one chart of the IL-6 gene. And before treatment, they tested the participants, and their average finding was, you can see it on the chart there. But after the treatment, they saw that their propensity towards, turning on that trigger switch for the IL-6 gene came down, which means their immune system calibration, their immune system ability to function normally had increased. And when you think about this, and this is just by taking, 1 or 2 drops of frankincense oil a day. And this is only one category of the health that we're talking about. The second clinical trial that they did was on their new supplement, their new frankincense supplement with boswellic acid. Now, I'm gonna just go into a little bit more detail about this supplement. I absolutely love it. And what they did was, when they do the distillation of the frankincense, boswellic acid does not come out of that process. It's very valuable. It's a very important part of the frankincense plant, but it ends up getting left behind in the distillation process. And so what doTERRA did was they wanted to capture the power of that boswellic acid. And so what they've done is they have been able to encapsulate it into these microbead capsules. I don't know if you can see it in the picture or even on my camera here, but it's this dual encapsulated supplement, and the boswellic acid is in these little tiny encapsulated balls inside. And so when you take this supplement, the frankincense with boswellic acid complex, you are getting the full benefit of what frankincense has to offer. Because frankincense itself helps with gene expression. It impacts our genes specifically and right at the DNA code. And then the boswellic acid's primary benefit came in regards to the immune system. It helps communicate to our immune system to operate properly and not start attacking ourselves, right? Many of us have conditions in our bodies where our body is actually turned on ourselves and is attacking our different body systems. And so what the boswellic acid does is it communicates with these cells and these organs so that they don't do that and they actually operate properly. And so in this study, they had 57 participants. They used it for 1 month, and they found over 12,000 genes were impacted. And some of the results that came out of that, these are 4 of the different genes that they were testing for. It looks like that's IL-6 gene again, and it calms excess fire response. So all those like responses in our body, the flight or flight, all those things, it helps calm that kind of fire response. The next one, it helps clear toxins and metabolic waste. Then the next one, NRF2, is a master antioxidant switch. So it helps with oxidative stress support in your body. And the last one was healthy aging and longevity. And these ones, are targeting the inflammatory system and your detox pathways. And we all know how important supporting our detox pathways, how important antioxidants are. But if our cells aren't operating properly, even if we're taking antioxidants, even if we're taking some good supplementation, if our cells aren't communicating well with each other and to our organs, then it's not going to be effective. And so being able to, like I said, turn off those switches so that our cells can actually function the way God designed them to is going to help improve our health. These are some of the results that they found from the clinical study. This one was in cognitive flexibility and emotional resilience. And you can see on the bottom where it says, before they started the study and after, the feelings of feeling blue, poor appetite or overeating, trouble concentrating, trouble sleeping, feeling tired, or having low energy. In every single category, it improved. They had significant improvements, and that was just after 1 month's use of this product. So what did they find? Participants in both trials experienced less discomfort, improved mood, increased mobility, emotional resilience, improved rest and recovery. Frankincense oil has been known to help with skin barrier maintenance. So you can use frankincense oil on your skin daily, help with your skin, help with getting rid of blemishes, help with restoring good, healthy skin. It's gentle on your immune balance. It has daily cellular resistance, emotional grounding, and great for topical and internal daily use. And I want to just read some important information that we learned about frankincense. So I mentioned that frankincense directly impacts our DNA code. Now, all of our cells have a code, right? And so when that code gets degraded, let's say whether it's through toxic load, whether it's through injury or damage to those cells, our body was actually designed that when it has a unhealthy or damaged cell, that it would flush itself out, that it would get rid of it. It's almost like a kill switch. It will get rid of those damaged cells. But when your body is not working properly, when your cells are not communicating with one another, and there's confusion in your body, what happens is those cells actually stay in your body and then they replicate. And so the job of frankincense is to communicate with those cells. And if there's a cell that is damaged, a cell that is unhealthy, it wants to get rid of that cell as quickly as possible. So there is no replication of that damaged cell. And we see that many times. A lot of the illnesses that we are dealing with, a lot of the chronic diseases that we have today are the replication of damaged and diseased cells. And so we want those to be leaving our body as soon as they can. And that is one of the, in my opinion, one of the most significant roles that frankincense plays is its ability to communicate directly to the DNA of our cells and communicate with them in a way that they will function properly the way they were designed. And the ones that are not, the ones that cannot respond to that communication, then the body has the ability to get rid of it through our detox systems. The frankincense boswellic acid complex, they found that it recalibrated inflammatory system. It helped with liver detoxing and DNA support, helped with energy focus and emotional flexibility. It helped with daily cellular resilience, and it is recommended to take 1 to 2 capsules internally each day. So why is this research important? I think a lot of the times we don't understand, what's happening in our bodies. And we live in a world right now where the mainstream thought when it comes to health and wellness is, going the traditional route, which is pharmaceuticals. And if you know anything about pharmaceuticals, you know that they are chemicals. They're often made in a lab. They are not pure. They have many side effects. And it's actually really disturbing when I see advertisements for some of these, solutions that they have for people. And they post them online, but they say, well, this will help with this, but these are the gamut of side effects you may or most likely will experience. And my question is, why would we do that? Why would we take some synthetic option to try to solve one problem when it's actually going to create many more, and it's going to create confusion in our body? And I want to make an important point by why are essential oils different? And it's because essential oils are actually noticed by our bodies. They can be utilized in the way that they were meant to by God, by nature, right? So all the benefits that a plant receives from that essential oil, when we extract it from the plant, we're getting that same health benefit in our own physical bodies. Essential oils are only effective when they are complete in their chemical constituents. Now, what do I mean by that? You might find many essential oils out there on the market. They are all not equal. They're not made equal. Many of them have been adulterated. Many of them have been modified. Some of them have had their chemical constituents separated, and they're looking for just targeted support. So they'll, remove some parts of, what that essential oil would do to target a specific outcome that they want. But what happens when you start doing that, when you separate the chemistry of an essential oil, it becomes ineffective and often harmful. And so that's why doTERRA stands behind their certified pure tested grade oils. They do not separate out any of the chemical constituents. They do not separate any of those things. They do not add adulteration. They do not change the essential oil in any way. I'm actually going to share one thing about frankincense versus like another essential oil. So for example, wintergreen has one chemical constituent, which primarily is used for pain management. When you look at the oil of frankincense, it has over, like, I don't know the phone number, I forgot to write it down, but hundreds of different chemical constituents within that single oil, which means that when you combine those different chemical constituents together in different ways, with different cells within the body, it can have endless amounts of variation with what it can do in your body. It's not just meant for pain management. It has the ability to help with immune function, cognitive function, skin health and rejuvenation, DNA communication and healthy replication. All of these things are so important when it comes to talking about frankincense oil. And that's why doTERRA has put so much time and effort into, research, into these clinical studies, into making sure that all of their oils are pure. They're tested both in-house and by a third-party company to ensure that they are what they say they are. They are exactly what you expect them to be, and they'll work every single time. So you have confidence knowing that the oils will do what they're supposed to do. They are safe for you. They have proven natural results. And that's what we call the doTERRA difference. And I have used many essential oils in the market, many over the years. And once I was introduced to doTERRA, there's no going back. The difference is incredible. And I believe once you experience that for yourself, you'll see the difference. And that's why not popularity, but the trust of the doTERRA brand continues to rise year after year. And when I first started with doTERRA wasn't the most trusted brand. But from the last stats that I saw, doTERRA has now become the most trusted essential oil brand in the world. And that's because you can trust the science behind what they do and the products that they produce. So I'm just going to go through each of the different frankincense products that doTERRA has available. The first one here is the frankincense boswellic acid complex. This is something that I would recommend you add to your daily routine. And some of the facts that it shares on here is some of the key benefits. It supports joint comfort and mobility, promotes healthy inflammatory response in the body and the joints. It may protect against oxidative stress, according to their preclinical research. May support cellular health and renewal, according to their case study. May have protective effect on musculoskeletal and nervous system. Regulates genes associated with promoting healthy joints and healthy inflammatory response. Then we have the oil, which can be used aromatically, topically, internally. And this helps with healthy cellular function. As we talked about today, we want our cells to be functioning normally. We want them to be communicating with one another the way that they were designed to. It also promotes a comforting, uplifting aroma, and it helps maintain healthy skin when applied topically. We also have a frankincense touch. It's a roll-on application. So this one is, great to have in your purse, be able to take around when you need it. Creates a soothing aromatic experience, helps reduce the appearance of skin imperfections, and promotes healthy looking skin. And then this next one, which I'm super excited about, is our frankincense stick with niaoulid. Now, I don't know if you can see, probably not because I'm doing screen share, but I have frankincense here, the stick, and it's a roll-on application, and it's so amazing. It has so many benefits. It has the frankincense and niaoulid. It's non-greasy. And it's great for the skin. It has high levels of alpha bisabol and nialwood, which is essential for restorative benefits for your skin. It offers a soothing, comforting aroma when applied topically. And one of my friends, she just mentioned to me the other day that her husband loves to use this on his face and his neck every time he shaves. And it feels amazing putting it on your skin. And I love using it. It's great for sensitive skin. It's free of all parabens, phthalates, and synthetic fragrances, and a great addition to the whole frankincense team. And we have one more little short clip here.
Hi everyone, Dr. Hill, talking with you about one of my very favorite essential oils. Think about the time of year it is, so of course it's frankincense. I believe that this is an oil that is so supportive to everything that our body needs to accomplish.
This is amazing.
I use it every single day. I use it aromatically.
Can be used topically.
It's so good for cellular health, for inflammation.
Now my challenge to you is to find your own reasons to use frankincense.
I just got a free bottle of frankincense oil.
This is my free frankincense to ride this week.
If you place an order of 200 PV, you will receive a free 15 milliliter bottle of frankincense.
You don't want to miss this.
It's one of the most powerful essential oils that we actually have.
What are you waiting for?
I am always going to say it remains one of the best oils that we have for a reason, because of all the value and benefit it can bring to you individually.
So there's been so many reasons why I shared tonight why it would be great for you to make this part of your daily foundational wellness routine. And like we've said over and over again, as we've taught about essential oils, if in doubt, use frankincense, because it is literally the king of oils, and it can impact every area of your body, every area, every cell. It helps on a cellular level. It helps with DNA repair. So it can communicate with all of your cells in different ways that will help your body function better. And I believe this is a deeper reason to use, love, and share this oil.